Hey guys, it's Marissa here from Little House Living. I wanted to give you a quick garden update this week and show you how things are doing. I'm going to try to keep it quick this morning because it's supposed to be really hot today. So I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done before it warms up too much here. But I wanted to show you the main gardens again because things are finally growing really well and we're able to harvest some stuff now. So this morning I'm down here in the greenhouse and I'm going to pick some lettuce for lunch. Well, lettuce and some different kinds of greens. I've got my bowl here. I think I mentioned this last week, but I wanted to talk about it again. So I always use a knife to cut the lettuce leaves. And then, like with the kale, I just pinch the leaf off right at the ends here. So I just go right here and just pinch it off, and that's how I pick those. And when I pick the lettuce, I always just cut off the biggest leaves and I leave the rest for later to keep it growing instead of just kind of like shaving it off like you would do a haircut or something. We just stick with the big ones. So that is how I do that. The lettuce is coming along really nicely. It's way more than we can use at this point, just because we just don't eat a ton of salads. So I've been meeting some neighbors and they are going to get some presents this week. But the greens are really good. It's nice to have something fresh. So here's my little apple tree that I've been trying to get going, and it actually looks really good. It's making some new little branches, and all this has just popped up in the last week, so it's looking really healthy. Now over here is that broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. I did not get a chance this week to get the rest of the stuff separated out. I have a couple more plants here that are too close together and need to go out in the garden, but it's too hot. So if I were to put this out in the garden today, it would just wilt and die. So it's going to hang out in here still where it's been for the next couple days until it cools down just a little bit. And then the thing growing really good over here is this bok choy. I'm really happy with how it looks. My plants are still way too close together, but that is what happens when the kids help you plant. Either way, it's going to taste really good in some stir fries, probably in the next couple days. The peas have finally figured out how to start growing up their trellis here, which is exciting. I'm hoping that maybe with some of these taller ones, they'll start to have some blossoms on them soon. It seems like today is the 1st of June, so I feel like they should have blossoms already, but it was so cold for so long, and now it's just ridiculously super hot. So we'll run out to the main garden now, and we'll show you what's new with that. I actually did a ton of work in the garden this week. I got trees from the conservation district, and actually I bought, I ended up with 34 trees, and they are all fruit-bearing trees. So I had to get them planted before it got super hot, so that's what I've been doing the last couple days. The stuff in here looks pretty good. It hasn't grown a ton this week, although yesterday was probably a good day for it with it being warm and we got everything watered really good. I put my tomatoes in. I don't think those were in last week when I shot the video. I haven't planted them all yet. I still need to put 4 more out here. I'm only going to have 12 tomato plants this year because I'm not going to do a ton of tomato canning, but they look okay, and the 4 that I haven't planted out here yet are still pretty small, so I didn't want to put them out here with it being so hot yet. This set of broccoli and cabbage looks really good, and last night when I was watering, I noticed that this one has a little broccoli coming on here for the first time, so that's really exciting. Makes it feel like the garden is actually getting somewhere. And this is a nice weedy mess, but somewhere in there is beets and corn, but that is one of the beds I have to work on today. And the raspberries look really good. They're getting really nice and tall. Believe it or not, I actually weeded this bed this week. Can't really tell anymore. So I still have tons of rhubarb. I've been picking that every couple days just to try to keep up with it, and putting everything away to make some jelly when I have a kitchen again. And this week we uncovered what I'm going to call, I guess, a asparagus patch back here. It was half buried under some rocks and hidden in some weeds, but you can see I picked the asparagus yesterday, but there's still a couple more coming out of the ground. I know I saw some last night. I'm not sure where it is now, but so that's cool. We have some asparagus. We ate some. We grilled some this week. It was really good. So if you remember last week, I had one blueberry plant, and it was over there. I had to move it this week, and I got a second one because I'm still not sure if this thing is a blueberry plant or not. But now I have two blueberry plants, and they look like they're doing okay. My strawberries are all doing really nicely. They've all got flowers on them, and some of them have little strawberries. And then this mess, so I had a blueberry plant over here that I had planted, and then I bought a second one, and I was going to put it in here, so I started digging and came across this big, huge piece of rubber in the ground. So we started digging that out, and it ended up being this massive piece of rubber mat that was underneath the ground at about a foot. And I knew that I couldn't leave it in here because if I wanted to plant like blueberries or something in this area in the future, it just wouldn't make sense. The roots wouldn't be able to go very far down. So we dug this all up and made a huge mess in the corner of the garden that I haven't cleaned up yet. So that's what that looks like. My bush beans are taking forever to come up, but some of them have finally sprouted. So that's pretty exciting. I've got way more of the pole beans that are sprouting than the bush beans, so those must come up a little bit quicker. And then my rows of corn back here, they have all come up. You know, it's hard to see because there's kind of some grass clippings on this bed, but you can see this nice little row of corn back here, so I'm hoping there'll be enough to can at some point this year. And then I will show you some of my little trees. They're just really small, so they don't really look like much yet, but like this is a little plum tree. I planted 8 plums along the back row, the back fence line here, and this one. And then there's 3 apricots over here, and then on the other side of the garden, this is where I have my apple trees and stuff in the back. And then over here along the other fence line, I have 3 more apricots right here. And then on this fence line, I have 5 crab apples. So they're all just really little, but with some water, they should do really well, and they've already got nice little buds on them. So if you look up your local conservation district, you usually order trees in the winter from them, but I didn't live here in the winter, so I looked on their Facebook page, and they were having a sale of all the leftover trees, because they usually order more trees than what they need, and so then there's leftover trees. But their trees are really inexpensive. All of the ones that I got, the crab apples, plums, apricots, and then I got 12 different cherries. They're just cherry bushes, not like the big cherry trees. Were only $3 a tree. So I definitely can't pay that if I want to get them from Menards or something like that. So it's really cheap, and yes, they will take extra time to come up, but they will grow, and they will eventually produce some really nice fruit for us. So we're really excited about those. I guess last over here is this is that raspberry patch that I planted this year. I'm really happy with these golden raspberries. They're coming up from the roots. They've got nice leaves on the top of the stem. Like, they actually look really nice compared to, I think these are the Heritage. Let's see, I left this on here, so I don't know Yeah, the Heritage Red Raspberry. I mean, they're coming and they have little buds on them, but they don't look anything like these nice. I mean, this is really nice. It's got little shoots all over the place. So I'm planning on planting more raspberries and strawberries next year. So I'm going to remember that when I get them ordered. But just a couple other things. My squash and zucchini plants are all coming up. So that looks pretty good. And then, of course, I have that whole other garden that has the squash plants. Those look really nice. I've planted all the cucumbers. Those look really nice so far. And then, like I said, I planted 12 cherry bushes. I put those in another garden. So everything looks like it's coming along really well. I'm at the point where I get worried if there's a storm because I'm afraid of the hail. But so far, we've been okay. And we're just about ready to start harvesting some things other than greens once this broccoli gets going. And yeah, it's been fun so far. So I will talk to you guys again next